I'm going to share with you 4 tools and techniques that I have been sharing with my clients, both young and old, to help calm down the nervous system. Because what often happens is that when we get into a state of panic or anxiety, worry, our system goes into fight or flight mode. We essentially go into survival mode, which not only does it ramp up stress levels, ramps up your heart rate, your breathing gets shallower, quicker as well, but it also stops or prevents that best cognitive function, which means that you're not necessarily able to function and to think clearly. So we want to calm your nervous system down so that you are able to get yourself back into that headspace, regulate your nervous system, and be able to make good choices, decide on what the best course of action is. And these are just 4 easy ways to do this. So the first one is a self-hug. So if you think about it, when we hug people, we get oxytocin, it gives us serotonin, all lovely feel-good chemicals, but we can also hug ourselves as well. So this might seem a bit strange, but literally if you hug yourself, and by squeezing yourself into this cocoon, if you sense of wanting to be in a fetal position, that safety position, this helps with that. So it's the whole, if you can't curl up into a ball, don't worry about it, but literally hugging yourself, squeezing. And you can also do this thing where you rub as well. If you've got children, I know, teenagers and things, they don't necessarily want to hug you anymore, but if you are sensing that they're in a sense of overwhelm, as long as you ask for permission, ask them, can I give you a squeeze or can I give you a hug? I've also done it as well before, where I've said, if I don't hug you, would you like to squeeze me? There's this sense of being close to somebody that calms the nervous system down. But if you don't have anyone around to hug, you can hug yourself as well. And the good thing to do is sometimes is just to squeeze yourself like this. It helps to calm your nervous system down, just doing that. And you can do that, in the toilet, in the car, however it sees fit for you. So that's number 1. The second one is called the shush breath. Breathing helps to regulate that nervous system, because obviously when we go into that state of fight or flight, when something stresses us out, we get shallower breaths and we end up taking more breaths. That is essentially kicking in the adrenaline, and that's also reinforcing to your brain that there is danger. So we want to slow our breathing down, and there's loads of different breathing techniques, but I'm going to show you one that I haven't shared in a while. This is the shush breath. Okay, so literally this is breathing in. I say for 4, but if you can't manage 4, don't worry about it, but breathing in, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then literally as though you were telling somebody to shush, but you're going to do it really slow for as long as you can. So it's breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then shh. And you don't have to you can put your hand over you if you want to, but you don't have to. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You could do a little hold if you want to, but don't worry if you don't. And just shh for as long as you can. That out breath is what will calm your nervous system down. It's your parasympathetic nervous system that's being activated there. When you breathe in, and usually when we're in that state of panic, we're very like that. It's the in-breath that's activating. That's the sympathetic nervous system. That's reinforcing that panic. So we want to calm that down by breathing out for as long as we can, and just, if you pursing your lips as well. Sometimes say when I do this with young children, I do it a little bit like when you're sniffing the flowers, and then you're blowing out through a straw, you're blowing out candles very slowly. So that's number 2. So we've got number 1, which is the hug, number 2, which is the shush breathing, number 3 is tapping. It's to tap your lips. Now your lips believe it or not, have lots and lots of nerve endings in them. And so what we want to do, and I put lip balm on my lips now, but essentially what you want to do is just tap your lips. What you want to do, rather than tapping them like quickly, as though any of you that do any kind of EFT, any tapping, you want to tap your lips to the rate that you want your heart rate to be. So obviously we want to calm our heart rate down, so we don't want to be tapping like this. We want slow tapping. And if you want, you can either do it over your two lips, over both your lips. Yeah, or you can do, I've done this sometimes, my younger clients like this, where you do it one, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. What that's doing, because of the nerve endings that you've got there, that's just reinforcing your nervous system to calm down. And then number 4, so this is very much driven around the power of our mind, is to imagine yourself in a safe place. Now, if you don't have a safe place that you can think of, this is why I think it's really important to practice these techniques outside of when you're overwhelmed, because when you are overwhelmed, as I've said, we're not necessarily in our rational part of our brain, and we forget all sorts of techniques and what we should and shouldn't be doing. So I would say, if you haven't got a safe place already, think of somewhere. This can be any way that you want, some place that you've been before, some place maybe you've visited once, like a holiday place. It could be somewhere completely made up. When I work with children, they have some amazing made up places. Like I say, it doesn't have to be a real place. Just think of this safe place, imagine that safe place, because our mind doesn't know the difference between what's imagined and what's real. So when we imagine ourselves in this safe place, and when I say imagine it, think about where you are, what you can hear, what you can see, what you can smell. Hopefully, because it's a safe place, if there is anybody else there with you, that they are somebody that makes you feel comfortable, they're somebody that makes you feel safe as well. They could be there as well. It doesn't matter, if, like I say, if it's real or not, but picturing yourself in that safe place, your mind thinks you are in that safe place. So it's going to naturally calm you down. The place that you've been to before, having it saved in your phone as a favourites picture. One of my clients does this. She actually has it on her screensaver, but she also has other pictures in her favourites, and how visualising yourself being in that place can help calm your nervous system down. And obviously all of these techniques that you do need to practice, I don't want to do all of those, but just picking one or picking a couple that you really like, that you can practice, that you can use even when your nervous system is nice and calm and regulated. A good time to practice some of these before you go to bed, because you're already in that nice relaxed state. But the more you practice them, the more they become reinforced, and the more you've then got that tool in your toolkit for when things perhaps don't go the way that you wish to.